Hello and welcome to cookingflavors.com. For today's video, as part of our how-to series, we look at storing coriander leaves and curry leaves, ginger and green chilies. I call it the 2CG box, that is coriander, curry leaves, ginger and green chilies. First, we look at ginger and green chilies. Always ginger and green chilies will not have much soil or mud, anything like that. And I prefer to wash my ginger just before using it because it's very dense. If you wash it, it'll take a very long time to dry. So just before using it or using it for cooking, how much ever I want, that much I take and I wash it and use it. Now I have a divided box like this, a partitioned box. I only got a 2 partition box. I'm actually looking for something which has 4 partitions so I can keep everything together, but as of now I only got this box, so it's easier for me to have my all my ginger, green chilies, everything together. If I have separate boxes, each time it's very difficult to take out each box, and if you have small boxes, every time it'll get over very fast and you'll have to keep refilling it every time. So this is a considerable amount of quantity will fit into this. So till I get the 4 division box, I'll be using this box. Now I'm just wiping off the ginger a little in case there's any dust or anything like that. Just a little bit I'll wipe it off and then I'll store it into the box. Now I'm using a tissue paper like this and I'm putting the absorbent side on the inside. In case you don't have tissue paper, you can also use a newspaper, a thick newspaper, which will absorb water and moisture. Now if my ginger is a little big, I'm just breaking it into smaller pieces and I'm putting it in and I'm covering it also. In the other partition, I'm doing the same thing, putting the more absorbent side of the tissue paper on the inside for my green chilies. And now while storing green chilies, I will be taking off the stalk or the stem, and any ripe green chilies, any ripened green chilies, I will put them separately, and I'll because I'll use them immediately. If you put the ripened green chilies along with the other green chilies, the others will also get ripened faster. So I'm keeping that separately and I'll be using it off immediately. Now we'll take the stalk and stem of the green chilies and we'll put it into the box. Make sure your green chilies and ginger are completely devoid of any moisture and wetness. If at all there's any moisture, it will easily get rotten very fast. So make sure they're completely dry, and I'm covering that also. And each time the tissue paper gets moist and wet, I will change the tissue paper. Now my ginger and green chili box is ready. We look at coriander and curry leaves. I get my coriander in bunches like this, and I'm just taking off the tag or the tie up, and we'll wash it nicely because coriander, most of the time they'll have a lot of soil and mud in that, so we need to wash it very quickly. It's always better to wash coriander before storing it, otherwise your box will also have full of mud and soil. At least twice or thrice you have to wash it completely in running water. I'm just washing it once, draining out all the water, and then I'll wash it again the second time. Now, finally, when I'm washing it, I'll let it rest for at least 3 to 5 minutes. When you do this, all the mud and soil will settle at the bottom of the bowl or the container, and you can take away the coriander. Just take it off like the top layer, like they say melotama. Just take it off, and it will be clean, and all the dirt and soil will settle at the bottom. But make sure even before cooking, wash it once more and then use it. Now, after washing the coriander, I'm going to dry it out. I'm using a thick newspaper. Always use a thick newspaper which will absorb water. And don't take the glossy or the shining newspapers like the magazine papers. They will not absorb any water. Preferably, even a Tamil newspaper will do the job for this. And I'm spreading. Don't switch on the fan. If you switch on the fan, the coriander leaves will get very dry. Just natural air is enough for this. I've spread it out across the newspaper nicely. Now after this newspaper absorbs all the water, it will get totally wet and it will no longer take in any more water. That time change the newspaper again. Now if you see this newspaper is completely wet, it will not take in any more moisture, and my coriander leaves are still wet, so I need to change the paper, put in a fresh paper and dry it again till all the coriander leaves are completely dry. Now, while my coriander leaves are drying, we look at curry leaves in the same way. You just take away the leaves from just wash it once, take away the leaves from the stalk or the stem. And if there are any rotten leaves, just discard those leaves and take the nice and fresh ones. Now, put it on the newspaper and dry this nicely. Curry leaves comparatively will dry faster. Now, both my curry leaves and my coriander leaves are completely dry, and we look at storing them. Similarly, similar to my ginger and green chili box, I have another divided box where I store my curry leaves and coriander leaves. That is this is a 2C box for me. And I'm same way I'm using a tissue paper with the more absorbent side on the inside, and I'll be putting in all my curry leaves here. I don't store too much of curry leaves at a time because very easily they will get rotten, so little at a time. When they are finished, I refill them. And here I've grouped my coriander leaves with the stems on one side and the leaves on the other side, and the loose coriander leaves separately. And I like to store it in my box. I don't like to bend my coriander leaves like this, so I cut them into two halves and I store it in this box with the tissue papers likewise. If you get coriander leaves with the root, just cut off where the root begins and use the stalk. Don't discard the stalk, because as I've told you in many videos, the stalk of the coriander leaves have the maximum taste and flavor, so retain the stalk. So my coriander leaves and my curry leaves, my 2C box is ready. Now I'll show you the ginger and green chili box. I put it in the refrigerator. Every time you put the box in the refrigerator, it'll have a lot of moisture and frost. So make sure every time when you take it out, wipe it off with a clean tissue paper or a kitchen towel and put it back. And every time your tissue paper gets soggy and wet, even your newspaper, change them periodically. And every time when they get over, make sure you wash your box thoroughly and then refill it so that it's nice and neat and clean. Do try it out and give us your feedback. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and post in your comments and suggestions. Hit the like button and keep encouraging us. You can also visit us at cookingflavors.com and follow us on Google+. Till we see you again with another new and interesting recipe, thank you and happy cooking.